Hello, on this week's Monkey Punch Show, I'll mostly be drinking coffee and eating biscuits. Hello everybody, welcome to this week's Monkey Punch podcast. I'm here with Keith, the lovely, the illustrious, the almost fountain of knowledge. Not up to my level. It was backhanded. How's that?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, no, you didn't take me by surprise. You're ever the insult. Anyway, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Just hang on a second. I've been told I'm on the wrong mic.
I see. I was doing that all, professionally, under the table kind of thing, all quietly. Just that you know.
Hang on.
Now it sounds silky smooth.
All right, hang on a second. Sorry, wrong button. Welcome to the Monkey Punch podcast, where I always get the intro right the first time. We've done 300 episodes. I've not fucked up an intro. You know that, don't you? 307 before I fucked up an intro. It's funny because it's funny because if you ever listen to the Gaming Face Punch podcast and you listen to it, because the listen to it version's got all the mistakes in it. Every time I fuck up, I replay the bump to the next story. So I'm like, boop. It's like, fuck. Baps has got a collection of them where I've just been fucking up time after time after time. Anyway, hello Keith, how are we doing?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm eating biscuits and drinking coffee because I can't do a podcast.
Camera, then the microphone.
No. That's what put me. That's why I fucked up with the mic because I was too busy focused on the sodding camera and then not noticing that I was switching the mic, not the camera, the mic to the cam link and not the other way around. I'm such a bonehead. And on that note, right. How are we doing?
We're good, mate. We're good. I think my keyboard's running out of battery as well. We're right one this week.
Anything else? Power outage for you?
Well, yeah, don't say that because there might be an ungodly storm like we had last night, and then it will. I mean, we had fucking great big 2-meter long snake in the garden as well yesterday. That was fun.
Not a draft excluder that escaped.
We had snake in the house before, but not quite as big as this. This biggest fucking snake I've ever seen. That close up. It was a big boy.
Yeah.
So not poisonous, but you wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of him.
Oh, he's got this. Everyone's like talks about being scared of snakes because they look slimy. I'm scared of them because they've got the 2 injector-like fangs, and they fly at you when they launch into you, and that's the bit that scares the shit out of me when it comes to snakes. What's it? Hang on a second. Again, Keith is sitting on Darth Vader's toilet. I'll find a couple of AA batteries.
Does not take AA batteries. It's just rechargeable. I just forgot to charge it because I've barely used this one. Anyway, what are we talking about? Let's get into the news stories. Let's get into some meat and potatoes.
Oh, hang on. Well, we've got some news stories. All right, okay. We got. I think got 5 news stories. So quite busy news stories this week. And what was the one I wanted? It was rumors. That was it. What do you call it? Yes, we did miss you. I'm just waiting for you to say something even madder than normal. Oh fuck!
Don't encourage him.
Don't engage. No. I cocked up the beginning. It's thrown me off. You know, the footballers always talk about the first touch of the game, but this, it's not going down too well. So, where are we? Rumors. Rumors and news from the entertainment industry. Today we'll be delving into some significant shifts happening in Marvel Studios and Lucasfilms, as reported by Bounding into Comics. We will look at the rumoured firing of activist producers at Marvel and the alleged doubling down of controversial decisions at Lucasfilm. Basically, I think that Marvel might have looked at their thing and gone, these guys aren't working for them, which is, you know, if you're working for me and you lose me money, you're gone. It's that simple. I can't afford to keep you. It's just maths. But they haven't managed to get through it. So
it's either that or Feige's woken up and gone, every movie that I've put my name on has been shit until now.
Who's responsible? Because it's not me. Yeah, it is. I think the first problem is the directorial stuff they've got and the writing stuff that they've got.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as the writers are allowed to do the writers' things and the directors are allowed to do the directors' things will get better. But they always must remember that the Marvel comes from a place, where we want to see Marvel characters, the big, exciting Marvel characters, like the X-Men. Where are my fucking X-Men? Come to me, X-Men. No, not fucking here, I am. All right.
I mean,
so yeah,
we've gone the whole of Phase 4, most of Phase 5, and the only X-Men that we've had are X-Men from the multiverse. So we got Drama's Beast at the end of the Marvels. We had Professor X in that terrible Doctor Strange movie. But we haven't really had the only mutant that they've really mentioned in the 606 universe, or the is Miss Marvel.
She's an Inhuman though.
Yeah.
Everywhere else, she's a fucking Inhuman. Apart from when they read it.
I don't mind how they bring the mutants in, but the fact that they bought fucking Fox before Endgame and then did bugger all. They didn't bring in the Fantastic Four. They didn't think, and then they started going, "Oh, it's superhero fatigue. It's superhero fatigue." No, it's not. It's shit fatigue. It's shit movie after shit movie after shit TV series fatigue, and you bring out one good movie with a likable star and fucking Wolverine in it, and every motherfucker and his uncle goes and sees it. Shock. You know, I mean, and we were speaking a few weeks ago. Throw $100 million at Robert Downey Jr. and bring him back. People will come and see it. What did they do?
Right.
They've thrown $100 million at Robert Downey Jr. because that's how fucking much they're paying him.
And then the thing that got me was, I don't know why they didn't just bring in a variant of him from somewhere. They've got the multiverse.
Well, I mean,
let's make him Doctor Doom. That's not going to confuse the fucking normies.
Well, there's a few theories batting around, and one of them is a comic book theory that it happened in the comic books where Doctor Doom kind of took variants and others and controlled them to act as him, and they reckon that this is the way that actually he's not coming back. He is coming as a Doctor Doom, but more of a puppet of Doctor Doom, and it's just Tony Stark. And this is the way they're bringing Tony Stark back in. Which, if that's what they're doing, I'll watch it. I'll watch it. I think that's kind of clever. If this is the way they're going to bring Tony Stark back, but look, we said it literally a few weeks ago. We said this: throw $100 million. You know, Chris, what's his face? Chris Evans. I mean, he was in this movie, so we already know he's going to be in the Avengers movie. I mean, they're going to bring him back as well. And why wouldn't you? They'll probably bring him back at the end of Captain America, the current Captain America film that's coming, which will be shit. Just saying, because that was made under old Marvel. But this doesn't surprise me. It just makes me laugh that Lucasfilm are doubling down on all this bollocks, and Marvel have gone, ding, not making any money anymore. Oh, okay, everybody thinks we're shit. Oh, don't like that. Fire every fucking idiot and bring in writers. What do? They bring back the Russo brothers. Yes, Russo brothers were responsible for Endgame, but they were also responsible for Captain America and Civil War, which were fucking good movies. So sod it. Carry on.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like it's going to work. I don't think they've learned a fucking lesson at all from this.
If this is true, then I think they have. If this is true. The thing is, people are soon going to forget about it because you've got Agatha Harkness coming up. We know that's going to be shit. You've got the Captain America Brave New World movie coming up. We know that's going to be shit. So people are going to soon go back to going, oh, Marvel is shit again. It depends what they do after that. I don't understand the Fantastic Four movie, what they're doing there. There is no immediate plans, still no immediate plans to bring the X-Men in. I mean, again, what's the one fucking movie out of a comic that they could do that will guarantee it will make $1 billion? Now, I've got the whole comic book series.
Go on, Tommy.
Avengers versus the X-Men. Pomp. Show me a superhero fan that ain't going to go and watch that.
Yeah, but the X-Men need to exist.
Exactly. So what the fuck are they doing? Why are we having another Captain America film? We don't need that. We don't need that. The first Avengers film, you bring back thing. We know the Fantastic Four are going to be in it. All you need is the X-Men. What they should be doing is introducing the X-Men, their version of the X-Men, like they did their version of Spider-Man. Stop fucking about with mirror universes and all this crap, and bring in the X-Men.
Yeah. I don't get. I really have no idea, because if the moment I got the things, I would have ripped Hugh Jackman's arm and ripped his arm off. Sorry, and then gone, right. You're in the Avengers Endgame film, and then I would have gone to Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen. I said, I want you guys in there. And if not, you've got McAvoy and Fassbender.
Well,
you could use
I
them.
think I know what they're. You're right, but I think I know how they're going to do it. Because Secret Wars, how does it finish? It finishes with two universes kind of coming together. So that's what they're going to do. The X-Men will be introduced into the Marvel Universe in 2026 when that film comes out, or 2027. That's how they're going to do it.
Yeah.
But this should have happened like last year, maybe the year before that. They have been slow off their thing. As I said, there is last week, and I maintain this, there is a single LED bulb flickering at the moment. It more than likely will go back out again. But at the moment, they have got a small amount of good feelings towards them. They have completely fucking screwed it many times before, but there is. It depends on how they do Robert Downey Jr. If there is another person really playing Doctor Doom, and he's just using this guy as to controlling this guy as Victor Von Doom, and this is the way they're actually going to bring Tony Stark back in, which I think they might be. Because I said to you last week, there's a big thing missing here. We're bringing in Robert Downey Jr., the biggest star of the Marvel universe, the guy that started it all. You're going to have to explain it. You can't just ignore it. It's the biggest fucking elephant in the room. So how are they going to explain it? They're not going to say anything. No one's just suddenly not going to notice, gone, oh, it doesn't look like anything like Tony Stark. It has to be acknowledged. So how are they going to do this? I think this is a back door way of bringing Tony Stark back into the MCU. And if that's true, I'm on board for it.
Okay. All right. I think they're going to set my thing off.
Echo agrees.
I'm gonna shut up. Yeah. Anyway, I think it's going to be the clusterfuck that you think it is. It's going to be Doctor Doom, but as Tony Stark, and they're not going to explain it. And you're not going to get any answers, and he's just going to be the bad guy, and you're going to enjoy him as a bad guy, but you're going to step away from the film going, doesn't make a blind bit of fucking sense.
And if they do that, they will make a lot of money on the first one, and no one will go and see the second one.
Okay.
And I think that's, unless they then start dropping X-Men here and here, and then there will be a few people that will go and see that. But yeah.
All right, let's move on to our next story. Yeah, I've got the right one. The sensational Netflix series that's captured audience worldwide, Squid Games, is set to have a highly anticipated season two premiere season 2 premiere date and announced news of final season 3 renewal. Fucking hell, they've gone to season 3. You know, it's like, because you gave me the story, I hadn't read it, so I just made some notes. I just got the system to make some notes, and I was just like, oh, right, okay. So, season 2 of Squid Games.
December the 26th, I think.
December the 26th of Boxing Day.
Yep.
That's not a bad day to put it out.
And then season 3 in 2025. I think they've shot them back to back.
I'm hoping they've shot them back to back or plan to shoot them back to back. I feel sorry because did you hear about the director when he put Squid Games together? About the amount of stress that he was going through. He was losing hair and teeth.
But then he had one of the most successful streaming shows of all time. So he probably got quite well compensated for it.
I hope he did. Well, no, I don't think he did get compensated for it. I think his compensation comes in the way of season 2 and 3, and they've overpaid him for season 2 or 3 because of season 1.
I am surprised we're getting a season 3. That was the bit that surprised me because I thought I can see them doing a season 2. Personally, I think what we're actually getting is season 2 split into 2 halves, and maybe a few more episodes in there to tell one long story. So what I think they're doing is it's kind of Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which was a standalone book. Then the next 2 were like one long story. I think that's what we're getting here. I think season 2 and 3 are going to be, a single story arc. I still don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know how they're going to capture the uniqueness of the first season. But sod it, it's not made in Hollywood, so it might actually be good.
But it's made with Hollywood money, so it's got Hollywood influence.
It's made with Netflix money, and it is slightly different. I mean, you can Netflix. A lot of things that are put on Netflix that are made around the world are not really influenced by that much. I mean, what was it? That Harmon, whatever it is, that thing that had my brain's gone. The gorgeous Northern English chick, gorgeous.
The gorgeous Northern.
Yeah, she was in that murder mystery thing with the dwarf from The Hobbit.
Murder mystery thing with the dwarf from
Have you not watched it? I mean, every
Sherlock.
person. No, it's an American author. And they've converted them to English. It was actually really fucking good. But they're like murder mysteries. And it was, her husband got killed. And then you go throughout the whole season and you think her husband's alive. I can't remember her name. Used to be in Coronation Street. Then was in that Our Girl thing the army thing. I mean, she's hot. Northern
No
lads.
idea who you I have no idea who you're fucking
Oh,
talking about.
fuck's sake, now you do. Now I've got to Google
It's
it.
just listening to you just go off trying to do.
Because I'm trying to get
Where
you
were
to
we?
fucking fill in the blanks, and you're being useless.
Oh, I have to fill in the blanks constantly
Yes.
in all my conversations.
It's your job.
All my conversations, not just with you.
I'm right. Hang on. There was a bloody news story about it the other day. Oh God. Literally, they don't stop talking about it. And of course, the bloody one time that I need to remember what it was, it's not there. Yeah. Hang on.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you the League of Retards.
Jesus.
That's not right. So let's just get back to Squid Games. All right. So seasons 2 and 3, you reckon that it's one story back to back? I hope it's a good story. I really do. I really hope it's going to be something that's really, really engaging. Because if it's not, it's going to be a right bloody letdown. So next year's not looking too bad for Netflix. They got Stranger Things and Squid Game season 3 if all goes well.
Michelle
If
Keegan.
all goes
That was the bird I was talking about. And what was it on Netflix?
Hang on. Oh no, sorry, I meant that one. It was supposed to be a drum roll. I haven't got drum roll down here, so yeah. Come on.
I'm failing because I can't spell Michelle Keegan. Look, I can't spell.
Tell me who Michelle Keegan is.
Right, fool me once.
Keegan is an English actress known for her roles as Tina
How do you not know who
McIntyre in the
Michelle Keegan
ITV
is?
soap opera
She's like a
Coronation
FHM
Street
pin-up
from
girl,
Sergeant
among other
Georgie
things.
Lane in
Don't
the
tell me you've never
BBC drama
Because your wife
series
on
Umbrella.
you.
Right,
Don't tell me you've never
right.
read bloody FHM or looked or seen anything.
No, hang on a second, Michelle Keegan.
Right, it was called Fool Me Once, and it was Harlan Coben's, and he's made a few streaming shows from his novels. American author, but like English novels get made from it. So like one of them had Martin Freeman's ex, who was also his wife in Sherlock. She was in a season where she played a cop, and they always have like a twist at the end. But this Fool Me Once is probably one of Netflix's most popular shows of all time, and it does have a good twist. If you like kind of British whodunits, see what I mean?
Yeah.
I told you she's not fucking bad looking, all right?
All right.
And she happens to be a very talented actress. I will give her that. Unlike a lot of these sort of dolly birds, right? She is actually a very talented actress, and she was very good in Argyle as well, which was this British Army thing. And in fact, she was fucking fantastic in that show. But she was really good in
I
there.
believe you. I believe you.
Worth a watch.
Many would. Okay.
Fool Me Once. Awesome twist.
That has nothing to do with the Squid Game
And it's
article.
got Joanna Lumley in it as well. And no, it has nothing to do with Squid Games, but it has in the fact that it's on Netflix. And what I'm trying to say is
that is the most tenuous bloody link I've ever heard to anything. If you'd have said, Gareth, just get me pictures up of Michelle Keegan so we can ogle at them for 5 minutes, I would have gone, yeah, sure.
Yeah, but I was actually trying to say that not everything is tarnished with the woke brush that's on Netflix. So, and this wasn't tarnished with the woke brush. This was actually quite good.
Okay. I've seen Dave Chappelle's special.
Yes, I've seen all of them and I love them.
All right. So that's this one here. Should be an obvious one. Deadpool and Wolverine crossing 550 million globally after five days. It's a remarkable milestone. Only highlights the film's massive appeal and also sets the stage for intriguing discussions about the impact on the superhero genre and landscape. This celebrates the achievement of Deadpool and Wolverine crossing over $500 million, basically. 3-4 weeks. Yeah, it'll do $1 billion. It'll do just over $1 billion.
Told you.
With the drop off and everything. Because it can make 500 million in 3 weeks, I reckon.
It's got Wolverine, who arguably is one of the most, popular
He's the X-Man.
movie
He's the one.
Sort of comic book heroes, played by an incredibly likable actor, and then you've got Ryan Reynolds, who will just, as Deadpool, and who doesn't want to see that? Go on.
Who thought having a film where you've got men playing like lead roles and being heroic and maybe a little stupid might appeal to people rather than surprise woman?
Because you're going to get me started on another story that's really wound me up this week to the point where I just want to punch these people. Seriously, I want to punch them. I'll tell you about it in a sec. But this doesn't shock me at all. Has it saved the Marvel Cinematic Universe? No. Has it made them wake up? If I was Bob Iger sitting down in my, luxurious office, looking at Lucasfilm and looking at Marvel and looking at what's just happened, it doesn't take somebody with any kind of IQ to work out, well, let's just give them more of what they want.
I told you it was Bob Chapek's idea to Deadpool Wolverine, not Kevin Feige's. He was dead against it. He apparently even phoned up Hugh Jackman and told him it's a bad move.
It depends on who you listen to or as to how that conversation went. If Logan was such a damn good movie, I can understand why you wouldn't necessarily want to come back, right? And I could understand why you might advise somebody, don't ruin that, right? Now, they did it in the best possible way, they completely took a great big dump over that movie, but in a way that actually works, right?
Yeah.
It's so disrespectful, you actually know he loves it. It's that male mentality. It's a very male thing, right? We are more nasty to the people we love, right? When you get a bunch of group of mates, we say the most disgusting things to each other. It's because we love each other, right? And it's the same fucking thing that happened on there. So if you're gonna honor this movie, you take a dump on it, which is exactly what Deadpool did. I can understand why Feige said what he did to Hugh Jackman if he did it in that way. This worked. This movie in that respect.
Yes.
It's still the third best Deadpool movie. I totally agree with you, having had a week for it to sit with me. But it's the best bloody comic book movie I've seen for a while, and it made me laugh. And I like all the cameos, and I fucking loved seeing Wesley Snipes back as Blade, the one and only Blade.
It may be this way. If everything I've heard is true about the Blade film. So going back to our first story in relation to this story, yeah, it looks as follows, yeah. Everywhere that Kevin Feige has put his stamp that was free from the Marvel Creative Oversight Committee or some bullshit name like that has been crap. So clearly that Oversight Committee that he didn't want because he felt it was holding him back, doing the right fucking thing.
Well, they did pass Endgame. And I think Endgame is where it all started going wrong. It's funny. I mean, I know I say this every time, but it's funny how I end up thinking that Infinity War was the superior film, bearing in mind how against it I was at the... It was. It still is. Watched it this week again. Yeah. It's still a damn good film. Hang on, sorry people on the podcast, you can't see this, but we have a very special person in the comments, and I have to, give him his customary greeting. So, hello, Dave. Right.
Oh. Anyway, I saw when he popped. Do you know when he popped up in the chat? I thought it was a David Pratt comedy channel. I saw that and I thought it was a David Pratt comedy channel. And I was like, shit, is he going comedy? Great, I'd love to see them that. But hey, would you lower your speaker for hello, Dave. Yeah, I can't. He lives in Thailand. I can't drive over to his house and slap him like I used to be able to.
I did give you warning. You knew it was coming.
He did give you warning. Anyway. Right, so we've got it's past it because it has, and this has nothing to do with Disney. It feels like a love letter to the Fox Marvel universe, especially at the end where it's showing all the clips. Yeah,
this movie is not going to save the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What they do next, after the current crap that's in the can already is out, right, is what happens. If it is true that they fired all the activists, if it is true that they have done that, right, and they've wiped the slate clean, then great. They've brought the Russo brothers back. They created your favorite Marvel film of all time. They created one of my favorite Marvel films of all time, two of my favorite Marvel movies of all time, because the number 2 and 3 is Captain America, and Civil War. I love those two movies. I do genuinely still love them. I just love the first Guardians of the Galaxy. It's just still my favorite movie, but that's partly because of the music, just everything. Arguably, narratively, the Russos are better. But they wrote Endgame, and I can't forgive them for that. So, but they brought them back. They have thrown a fucking ton of money at them. I mean, apparently they're paying them the same as they're paying Robert Downey Jr. So that's nearly $100 million. I mean, talk about a fucking payday.
Are they paying it for both of them together or individually?
No, I think it's both of them together and for 2 movies. But and it's the same with Robert Downey Jr., who blatantly will have a cameo at the end of Fantastic Four.
You'd hope. You'd really hope.
It's going to be. You know that. It's just, well, I say it's going to be Robert Downey Jr. That depends. So, yes. Oh, Charles Dance. That'd be a good Doctor Doom. Yeah, no, he was great in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he'd be a great Doctor Doom. So I'd sit on the toilet thinking about people who could play Doctor Doom.
I'm not shocked that Deadpool's done so well. I'm happy it's done so well. I think we're going to get Deadpool in more Marvel movies. Just depends on how they're going to do it.
The other thing too is, what do you call it? I'm going to go watch it tonight. I hope there are more people laughing in the audience and it's not just me, because that kind of ruined the film for me. And I bet you if you sat and watched it in the same cinema with me, with those people who wouldn't fucking laugh at a single thing, you'd feel really awkward when you burst out laughing, and that would ruin your enjoyment. I got the miserable bastards. And on that note,
I've got 8 years of going to movies and watching it with a load of Thai people where the jokes don't always translate, although they did for this one. So, because with the jokes that were quite nuanced in that movie, and my wife was laughing, so I was going, either you understood the English there, or it just translated really well. But usually I am the same, so I know how you feel.
Okay. All right.
Right, what's the next one?
Next one. An update about the Orville and its much anticipated season 4. According to recent announcement by Scott Grimes at Star Trek Las Vegas, the popular science fiction series is, as I say, the most popular. The popular science fiction is starting filming its 4th season in 2025. This news has fans buzzing with excitement, speculation about what is next for the crew of the USS Orville. So he's at the Star Trek convention, hobnobbing with Star Trek people, probably the Discovery guys. Sorry, can't help that. Yeah, so I don't know how this story came out. Because, well, I know how it came out, but I don't know how it came to our attention because of... Shit, did I close everything down there? Because it's... ever since Disney bought Fox, Orville was filming before the buyout, or the buyout was in the middle of them, in the middle of their season. And then it kind of did what happened with Deadpool and Wolverine, where it just went into limbo for a bit.
Season 3 has done really well on Disney Plus.
Has it?
Worldwide, yeah, it has, because it's by word of mouth. People are going, as people are getting more and more fatigued of shitty Star Trek, it's like, go watch the Orville season 3. It's like all the Trek fans that came off Picard season 3 wanting good Trek and really not getting it, were like, go watch season 3 of the Orville, and everybody who's seen it has gone, Jesus Christ, this is Star Trek. And it's good stuff. Look, I know Nige didn't like season 3 because Nige liked the slapstick. I thought season 3 of the Orville was some of the best science fiction in fucking years.
It had one of the best. It had one of the best jokes of the entire series.
Yes, it did.
The one with the wedding.
Yeah, it was.
And all the fucking Kalons turn up and they think it's an invasion. And it's like, no, I invited them all to the wedding. Well, I couldn't leave anyone out. So yeah.
So I think some of it is Trekkies wanting decent Star Trek, and I have to say, I'm going slightly off topic this week. I saw an interview with Kate Mulgrew, the voice of one of the characters in Prodigy, and I could have fucking kissed that woman. And God bless her for what she said. She basically took a great big dump on all of Kurtzman in a roundabout way, and she was like, her line was, they cancelled the only real Star Trek. And it's kind of true. And she goes, this is Star Trek. This was Star Trek. I don't understand why this was cancelled. We made this amazing season, this hopeful season. This was real Star. And she's saying all this shit, and I'm just going, oh my God, are you drunk? But if you get to see it, I'll try and find it and send it to you. But God bless her for saying it. Look, Netflix, if you're listening, make season 3 of Prodigy. Decent Star Trek. Yes, it's a kids. It's made for kids and adults, so there is a kids side to it. If you can bear animation, go and watch it because it's genuinely good. And it's proper Star Trek. So I hope it gets to season 3. It doesn't surprise me that Kurtzman cancelled it because it was Star Trek, and Kurtzman hates Trek. But the Orville, I mean, they've never said.
Hang on, I'd just like to point out that this episode of the Monkey Nut Bunch podcast is brought to you by Star Trek Prodigy. Carry on watching. Thanks, bye.
I'm not going to stop bleating on about it. They've never said Orville was cancelled. They've always stayed away from that. Yes, that episode of the end of season 3 could have served as a series final, but there's always been a want to make more. McFarlane's made several comments this year that made me think they are going to make it. I think it would have already been shot if the writer's strike hadn't happened last year. As I said, I think Disney were quite happy with its results on Disney Plus worldwide. It did worldwide. It's been one of those slow burners that just continues. People are continuing to watch it and go back and watch it again. So if they do season 4, I'm well up for it. Season 3 of the Orville was just fucking brilliant. It's really good. So I'm up for it.
Let's move on to our next topic. Percy Jackson. Is this the one that's going to set you off, Keith? Is this the one?
No, I put it in there because I wanted to have a discussion with you about something. Right?
Okay.
So
let me just do the top end. Percy Jackson and the Olympian season 2. I know. Sorry, my cursor was covering up the thing. I couldn't read it properly, and then the Olympics is on. Percy Jackson and the Olympian season 2 of the series has officially started filming, and there's a lot to look at as the show tackles the second book in the series, The Sea of Monsters. So it looks to me like they are trying to adapt it correctly. I have no idea. I've never read these books. And then I was like with Harry Potter. I watched Harry Potter first before I went through the books after. So, have you seen Percy Jackson and the Olympians?
Yes, it was good.
It was good.
It was less woke than anything Disney had done before, and I genuinely enjoyed it. And in fact, a lot of people enjoyed it. It did again, one of the rare things that did quite well on Disney Plus. But this highlights something. I mean, literally within a week of it finishing, they announced season 2. That was over 7 months ago, right? And they've only just started filming season 2 now. This is the thing, right? Why is it takes 2 years for a streaming show to come back on? I mean, for fuck's sake, when we were watching Star Trek, 22 episodes every year. Every year.
Every year, then a ton of speculation because you had the mid-season break. So you had things like Scorpions, or Way of the Warrior. Oh no, Way of the Warrior's opening season.
Had, I think, 8 or 10 episodes, right? And we've got 8 episodes of House of Dragon. The 8th episode is the season final this year, and it's taken 2 years for that to come back. What is it with streaming shows taking this long to come back? And these kids are young, right? How the hell are they going to do Harry Potter? Because this is why I put it in there. I put this news story in there to go, this is a problem. Okay. All the good shows take 2 years, right? You know, look at fucking Stranger Things. I mean, 5 seasons in 12 years or something stupid like that.
And 11 is driving herself to work now.
11's probably got a kid by the time this comes out. 11 will probably have a kid that is the same age as her when she joined the damn show by the time this thing finishes. I mean, it's ridiculous. And I mean, HBO have said they're going to make Harry Potter, right? We haven't heard shit about it except they've now got a showrunner, right? And it's going to start in 2026. You're going to have to do a season a year, right? You can't have Harry looking like he's 11 one year and then 2 years later you show him and he's looking 14 with beard or Harry Potter. And by the time it's ended...
You imagine that they hire some actor to play Harry Potter and then between seasons he just turns and goes, "Oh, it's fun. Expelliarmus."
I mean, it has to be. I mean, this thing of taking 2 years, I don't get it. Why has Percy Jackson only just started shooting now? Why the fuck weren't those kids lined up and cast and already filming? I mean, you would have known within 3 or 4 weeks this show was popular or not. You would have seen the figures. They announced the damn season and it's only now started shooting? I mean, it's madness. I mean, no wonder these shows... I don't like it. You know, I mean, okay. Hollywood has lost something. 22 episodes of Star Trek every year. In some cases, 40-odd episodes of Star Trek every year when DS9 and Voyager are running side by side. And again, with Next Generation, they did it for years. You know, America put out 22 episodes of anything every year. How can they not do this with streaming shows? I mean, Percy Jackson's going to be 50 before the next season. I mean, this is meant to be a directly continued, right? The next story is a continuation. How are they going to explain him fucking growing 20 inches in the space of like 1 day?
I don't know, Keith. I'm sure Harry Potter will be much easier to adapt and put into scripts, considering the whole story's finished and you know where things going, so you know which bits need more attention than the others. That should be easy. Yeah, they're not being asked to write anything new. They probably have to write the whole thing and then be asked what to remove. But you're right. When it comes to streaming shows, they are all shit. Yeah, it is. It's been 10 years. It'll be 10 years, I think, since the first Stranger Things aired. Mm-hmm. Since now. And it's like kind of the kids. Yeah, if they weren't kids, it wouldn't be so bloody... Yeah, no, they're adults. Old enough to drink. When they do the rap party, they'll all be old enough to drink. Which they weren't. Hard liquor.
I think 11's over is 20-odd now. I mean, she's getting married.
Yeah. Is she? I mean, I don't know, but yeah. I saw a video of her driving into work, which I found mad. It's like, wow, there's 11, little tiny girl driving herself to work. I know Americans like to show off, but come on.
I mean, it's not like. I mean, the thing is, House of Dragon. There's text there. The books are finished. So what does it take 2 years to put that onto film? You know, why are you not writing season 3? Why season 2's been shot? What, you know, you knew Percy Jackson was going to do well within a few weeks. Why the hell wasn't the next season written and already shooting? There's a book there. It doesn't take that long to write. I think this is again down to the fact that writers in Hollywood now are shit. And it takes them this long to write something. Or they write something really good, then it takes about 10 committees to go through to make sure that we're, you know, ticking every single box. I don't know what it is, but the people are not going to... Stranger Things has got away with it because it was so popular. But fledgling series, I don't think are going to get away with it. And you know, House of Dragon, this season, it's been good. Not as good as the first season. We'll talk about it in a minute, but this is my point, that you need to do it every year, especially when you need, you know, you can't wait 2 years per fucking season. It's just ridiculous. All right. So I'm just putting there to highlight, make these damn shows quicker.
That's fine. I've got a topic that I can describe as boiling my piss. So let's bring it in nice and slowly. Time to look at the comments. Biffa in here first. Hold on. Followed by Be a Stupid Gamer. I may have pressed the button twice because when he says he's having a stroke, it doesn't mean he's having a stroke as in a brain problem, or is he having a stroke? The eyes go really well there then. Steve! Hello, Steve. I want to read this comment again. Keith is sitting on Darth Vader's toilet and he can't find a couple of AA batteries for his keyboard. Yeah, we did miss you. And then we got Chuck. Hello, Chuck. Eating leftover scones from candlelight tea at the Prince of Wales Hotel, Niagara, on the lake in Canada. Ooh, don't tell me you're planning to go over Niagara Falls in a barrel. I'm just saying. Or tea chest.
Don't give him
ideas. Or straddling a grand piano. It's not him, I have to worry. It's my wife. He might be giving ideas to my wife about going away to places. Jam and cream. Good. Sorry, I said hello to a lot of people. Everyone's been saying hello. This is my missus. Farscape stream. So Farscape's 25th anniversary was, I think it was Friday. And they've got a marathon of all the episodes of Farscape streaming since then. Back to back. It was funny because my favourite episode, I managed to jump in and find at the stream, which really made me happy. Spider-Man versus the Super 6. Sinister 6, I think. I don't know. Oh, it could be wrong.
Sony's been trying to do that for years.
Yeah, they have been trying to do that. Yes, yeah. And here's Dave. No, don't do it, Keith. Don't do it.
I've already done it.
I know you've already done it, but it's all those poor sods listening on headphones, especially like, right, we do it live, and then we turn it to a podcast, and the poor podcast listeners have to listen to that. Do you know why I'll have to tone it down when I mix it down? Watch Deadpool Wolverine. Would recommend. Yes, it's fun. It's just a nice thing. Yes. He's doing a revision of his book Black Mamba. I've got lots of notes because I've read the first two about 6 times over, so I've got a lot of notes on that one. Biffa, my top 3 Marvel films: Captain America: First Avengers, 2 The Avengers, Captain 3 Civil War. No, Winter Soldier. I like Winter Soldier.
I'm going to put Winter Soldier. I put Winter Soldier, then Civil War. But I do like Captain America: The First Avenger as well. I do like that movie. I'd probably put that at number 4, I think.
And then it's like Keith close enough to Dave to do that. When I say in the good old days when we used to sit in the same room podcasting, I would be able to hit him, and he was able to hit me too.
Yeah.
Yes, we both did. Usually in the arm to shut the other one up. Sometimes repeatedly. That was me doing the repeatedly. I got woo. No barrel over falls. Oh, that's fine. All right, let's dial the music down. And I'm going to go into a topic that's, yeah, this might blow your eardrums out, but I'm going to press it anyway.
And it's really just blind luck that a deep salvage team found you when they did. 1 in 1,000, really. I think you're damn lucky to be alive, kiddo. You could be floating out there forever.
I've had that for months. I haven't played it because it kind of derails a bit things. Anyway, so Friday comes around. I get home from work. I sit on the sofa. I just want to get away from everything. So I'm looking through everything, and I see Batman: The Caped Crusader. I'm like, ooh, this looks interesting. It's got, is it Bruce Timms who helped out with the original? Yeah, so I watched that and I noticed something was a bit off. Okay, didn't have the voice of Kevin Conroy. I can forgive the fact it didn't have the voice of Kevin Conroy. Had a really fat Alfred. I mean, like, fat. I mean, like, you could roll him down the thingy. I think he was fat, so it's harder for the Joker to drag him away. Or him to be kidnapped by the bad guys. That's all I'm assuming why he's fat. And I was watching it, and it seemed okay. And there was they race swapped the Gordons around. I'm like, all right, I'll let that go. Harvey Dent was a bit of an asshole, but it was maybe he turned. You get to know him. He turns out he's actually a nice person. Blah blah blah. And then it got to the bad guy of the episode, who was the Penguin, Keith. Can you guess what they did to the Penguin?
Let me guess. Surprise whamming.
Yes, they did. And the worst thing is they didn't even do it. They couldn't even do that right. So we all know about the Penguin now. In the Arkham games, they've given him like a Cockney accent and a London background for some reason, which didn't sit too well with me. But he still managed to come across as the short Al Capone-like gangster who would rule Gotham with an iron umbrella, I think is the best way of describing it. And just to ask a question, what the fuck were they thinking?
The same thing that they've been doing since with all of these cartoons recently. Anything out of DC, I've kind of avoided because they keep doing this. It doesn't surprise me. I heard about it, and I heard rumors that we were going to get like gender swapped Batman baddies, and it's like you just know that they're copying something. And the trouble is, if you're going to do it, you've got to tell a good story, right? And the only time that I've seen it semi-work, right, and it didn't work that well, but it was okay, was across the Spider-Verse. Or the first one, where they gender swapped Doc Ock. But arguably, Doc Ock is not the most iconic of Spider-Man's baddies, right? The Penguin and the Joker and the Riddler are probably the three most iconic Batman baddies.
It's weird because if you know,
and they are
if you know
male.
anything, and if you know anything about the bad guys, they're kind of a representative of certain aspects. So you got Joker, who's like the one that's going to try his morals and his conviction and making sure that he kind of stays on straight and narrow. Then you've got the Riddler, who's the one who challenges him on an intellectual level because they're all kind of, he has to think his way through the puzzles. And then you've got the Penguin, and the Penguin just represents crime. He's a gangster. He's just an interesting gangster with a twist, yeah? And he's supposed to be like that. He's supposed to be feared. He is supposed to be, as I said it before, he's supposed to be Al Capone. Yeah? But in this, they swapped the Penguin over, but they didn't make her the female version of Al Capone. Which would have been a case of, I would have rolled my eyes and I would have got on it with it. But she's ugly as fuck, but somehow people find her attractive. Yeah, and I mean, she's fuck ugly.
Well, there's a rule though now in Hollywood that you've got to make them ugly, because apparently, get this right. Well, I don't know if this person was joking, right? But somebody said it offends trans people, which is the most misogynistic thing I've ever heard in my life. But anyway, you're right. But the thing is, right? Why have we even got a female penguin? It's not like all of Penguin's iconic, all of Batman's iconic baddies are men. They're not. Catwoman, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, to name but three. It is diverse. So what was the reason for it? Why do this? You did it to become a talking point. Nothing else. It's fucking stupid. The character is male. Stop it. There's no reason. It's not for diversity. It's not. Now it's for let's make everything female. That's what you're doing.
Put a chick in
it. You want to piss off people. That's why you're doing it. There is no diversity argument here because Batman's you got fucking Catwoman. You've got Poison Ivy, as I said. You've got Harley Quinn. There's others, right? Batman has always had a diverse set of bad guys.
Between him and Spider-Man, they always had the best rogues gallery between the two of them.
But Batman's ones are already there. So why do this? Why have you done this? And you can't use the diversity argument. It doesn't work here. The thing is, right, I am so poisoned by all of this, right? I am actually seriously thinking of just stepping out of social media at the moment, because this week, this story, it angers me just to say this. So I'm just going to say it, right? And then you can react to it, okay? There is a movement online to cancel, what's his face? The Lock Stock director. What's his name?
Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie, right? Because Guy Ritchie keeps putting males in his film. And the example that they used of this was the Ministry of what's its face?
Ungentlemanly conduct.
Yeah, the latest one. A historic film featuring historic characters. And arguably one of the heroes of this film was a female. But there wasn't enough women in it. In an historic film. So we're going to cancel him. In a historic film. Fuck off. If you even think this,
fucking money,
just fuck off. And you wonder why the world is in turmoil.
Yeah. I like that film. I still think my favourite bit is it's the bit where they pull up along the side of the destroyer and he goes, "Quick, get the Swede." And the Danish goes to talk to him in Swedish. He goes, "No, I want to hear Major What's His Face." I can't remember his name now. Major What's His Face talks back in Swedish like that, and it's like, all right, you got me. I love that because that's such a great kind of, I'm going to call your fucking bluff. And he did, and he wasn't. And the great thing is, he wasn't sour about it. It was real, and that made it really it really stuck out for me. I like that.
I enjoyed the film.
Yeah.
And again, you know, actually, when you look at the cast of the film, it was quite diverse, right? And in actual fact, it featured a black guy who's a real person, being able to be a hero in the Second World War when they couldn't be. Right? It had a woman in a very dangerous role who I mean, she has one of the best moments in the film. I love that moment where he's, you know, where he comes up to her and he's all perving over her. She pulls up the thing and just shoots him from under her leg. I fucking love that moment. A great moment in the film, and they want to cancel it because there's not enough women in the film. Oh, just fuck off. And then we're making, and you want, and Hollywood wonders. No, I did not watch this. I refuse to watch it. I refuse to give it any viewing figures on Amazon Prime. It should be cancelled.
Right, not Amazon, it's Netflix.
Is it Netflix? Well, there you go. I saw it come up, and for about 10 seconds I was half tempted. Then I remembered how the shit it was, and I remembered like the supercut of Batman versus Superman. And whilst the film made more sense, so I dare say that Rebel Moon will now make more sense, still shit. Yeah, no.
I think Michael Bay should talk to Zack Snyder. Because I think that they're two kind of in like two similar positions. But the two of them should chat and maybe form a support group. And I like Michael Bay.
I like most Michael Bay movies. I'm going to just put it out there. Yeah, they're dumb movies. And I know we like to take the piss out of him, but I still maintain he would be a brilliant porn director. And I mean that. I mean, he would make fantastic porn. Arguably his last two Transformer movies were... He would, you know it. I mean, just...
How?
Go and watch the first Transformers movie, and then tell me the bit with the car and her, right? Tell me that you do not want that to be a scene in a porn movie. Tell me that the next scene you don't want those shorts dropping, because if you do, if you say no, you're a liar. You're a liar. You know the scene I'm talking about in the Transformers movie. You know the scene
with Shia LaBeouf.
No, the bit where she's over the car, trying to fix the car. Don't fucking know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
The thing is, it's funny because those angles and bits that he used are like the way you film a car commercial for her.
And she looked fantastic in that film. Anyway, I like Michael Bay, even though, and I loved his cameo in Bad Boys 4, by the way.
Yeah,
brilliant fucking cameo, brilliant bloody cameo. I like Bad Boys 4, but no, I haven't watched this Batman thing. I had heard rumors about it. I saw it was on, and then literally about 5 minutes later, I think it was or it was one of them that said no. I was like, okay. And then they covered it on Friday Night Tights. I was like, yep, thank God I didn't watch that or even attempt to watch it. I'm sorry you had to sit through that, but it's just stupid.
I just got to the penguin bit and I was like, fuck, I'm out.
I have to say...
The Rock. I think The Rock or the first Bad Boys before The Island. The Island's right up my alley because it is sci-fi. Just saying.
Yeah.
For Michael Bay films.
House of Dragon this week was actually, having had some weak episodes, a lesbian moment that made no damn sense, which really annoyed me. This week, it was...
Is that what you call it when you lose your concentration? A lesbian moment?
No, because basically the Queen...
I can't remember the name of that person who's in the film with the thing in Coronation Street. He's having a lesbian moment. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. I want to make that a thing. Oh, we've had a lesbian moment. Not a blonde. I've gone blonde all of a sudden. I'm having a lesbian moment.
This week was fucking brilliant. Again, it's the last 5 minutes, but the episode was really good because she figures out, right, that because kings and queens tend to like especially like the Targaryen kings like to, let's say, spread their seed. In other words, they'll shag anything that moves. She figured out that there's lots of bastards, in illegitimate children that could ride dragons. And because she's got no goddamn dragon riders, but there's a few dragons doing around, she decides to put a call out to all these people. She says, right, come here. You're probably going to get burned alive, but if you don't, you get to fucking ride a dragon.
That doesn't sound like a thing. Hi, yeah, you might get electrocuted, but we'll put you on the merry-go-round.
Well, it's kind of like, you're poor, you're desolate, you got no money, you got no food. But it's like winning the lottery, because if you get a dragon, everybody's just going to give you food. No one's going to fuck with you. Basically, these dragons are like the nuclear bombs of Westeros. Like, if you're sitting there with your finger on a fucking nuke, right, you're going to get what you want. Right? You're going to get what you want. So she basically puts all these poor fucking sods in this room with this dragon. And unsurprisingly, the dragon fucking burns most of them alive. But a couple of them, the dragons accept. So all of a sudden, she goes from one dragon to like 5 fucking dragons, right? And there's the really horrible character that happens to fly the oldest and biggest dragon. And he's flying up to the island all fucking arrogant. And he suddenly sees her and these other dragons. And one of them's pretty fucking big. And it's that, oh shit moment. It's like, turn around. And you just, even though he's on the first dragon, like 5 of them against one, yeah, you're bye-bye. You just see him shit himself and start flying back. You're like, so it was a real fuck you moment. So I don't know what's going to happen in the season final. I think some people are going to die. Hopefully, Matt Smith's character's kind of been on his own journey. And, it was okay for about 3 episodes. It's now getting a bit boring. We need him back. We kind of need him back now. But he's been building an army. So I think we're going to get... I think it's going to be an explosive episode. I fucking hope it is. But yeah, the last episode was good. So House of Dragon, good this week. And it was probably about the only thing I fucking watched.
Okay.
Other than Memento, which we're going to talk about in a minute.
We can talk about it in a minute. I thought we were going to talk about Farscape.
Yeah, that's what I said. We're going to talk about it in a minute. Because we're talking about Farscape.
Okay. All right. So I thought we could talk about it next week because.
Okay, we can do Memento next week if you want.
Farscape. There's a lot to talk about Farscape. So, as the story goes, I was born and raised as an astronaut, and I fell through a worm. So yeah, 1999. Was it 1999? It was 1999 that Farscape first aired, and this is I think it's on Australian TV, not in the UK. I think in the UK it was more towards the winter time. It was like the BBC Two slot where Star Trek used to live. And I watched the first episode, and I was like, okay, this is okay. And then I got to episode 4, and I watched it, and I went, it's got potential. It's got potential. It's I think it's the one where they get all the copies of them going around the ship. But it's got potential. You've got this band of ragtag like misfits
and Muppets
who have stolen a ship and gone off into deep space, escaping their captors, the peacekeepers, ironically. And they go for adventures in space. It sounds like a great concept, yeah? Because you've got all these different personalities. You've got Dargo, who it sounds like a name for a dog. You've got Zan, played by Virginia Hay, who told me off at Comic-Con one year. It's not a children's. There's everything because
she's accusing me because I accused it of being a children's show. right at the beginning. I might point out I ended up loving it as much as you guys did.
Yeah, but you thought it was Muppets in space.
Well, it was at the beginning, kind of, a little bit.
It was not Muppets,
It was
in,
Muppets in
space.
space.
It had two puppets, Pilot and Rigel.
Right, unfortunately for me, right, the problem was it was Muppets, right, and it was Australian accents, so it felt like Muppets in space. And then I actually did start watching it, and it's probably in my top 5 of all-time favorite sci-fi shows. Who am I kidding? It is in my top 5 of all. I just don't want you guys to be all smug about it.
Nah.
No.
Yeah.
I love Farscape now. It's funny, right? Crichton's ship, finally, the ship that it's based on, will finally, I believe, launch this year.
It's supposed to be an escape pod, isn't it?
No. Well, I mean, they're using it as a. Initially, won't have any. It won't be. It's not rated for human flight. Eventually, it will be. For now, it's being used as a quick turnaround thing for the ISS. But the Dream Catcher, I think it's called. But it's launching soon. But that's what Crichton's ship was based on, because Crichton's ship was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So yeah, it was one of the mad things. So you had your crew. You had Zan, who's the priest, Rigel, who's the warrior, Dargo, who's the warrior, Rigel, who's the politician. What you call it? Claudia Black's character. What was her name? I can remember Claudia Black, but I can't remember her name. Aaron Sun. Yeah, yes. She was the soldier, and then you had Crichton, who's the space adventurer / scientist of the group, along with Pilot, who was they always described as being a producer. He was the television producer, which I found quite.
I can't remember the dude with the mask.
The dude with the mask. Oh, Scorpius.
No.
Oh,
the guy who was on the Stark.
Half mask. Yeah. And that Scorpius is one of the best
awesome
bad guys. Great bad guy. He fucking wins more than he loses, which is the great bit.
You see, so, I mean, the thing about Farscape is you can see influences in Battlestar from Farscape. Like having the fucking chip in your head, or having the sort of bad guy in your head all the time. Well, Battlestar copied that from Farscape. I always liked the version of Scorpius in Crichton's brain was funny. I mean, the episode where he's wearing human clothes like that fucking Hawaiian shirt.
When he removes the chip, and he's got the leftover, which he calls Harvey, because it's got a Scorpius neural clone up until that time, and he takes the chip out of his head, and what he's left with, his remnant, is that he refers to as Harvey, which like haunts him, which I think is great. It was one of my favourite episodes is one called "The Crackers Don't Matter," and it's the one where they pass through a pulsar field and they all go crazy, and it's the first time that you get a hint that Scorpius has injected him with his neural clone. So you got the bad guy Scorpius, and he's just like kind of, what do you call it? He's trying to help him, yeah, and that happens when he's trying to help him there. And there's another one called Clockwork Nabari in the same season, where the Nabari get him, and it's, have you ever seen it? Have you seen the uncut version of it? Clockwork Nabari.
There was
you remember
the
why
DVD
it's
version? Yes,
right. So you remember why? Because
the DVD version always had. Yeah, they had. Yeah.
So in that version of Clockwork Nabari, they pull the eyeballs out and they put a little chip on the eye stalk and then pop it back into the person's skull. And that's the time that you figure out that Scorpius again pops up and saves him. And it's like, it's weird that he's popped up twice and saves him. And then you get to one where, what was it? The one where he comes across, the first time he comes across a Scaran and he's interrogating him and won't get fooled again. That's what it's called. And he's putting on these false realities and whatnot. And the Scorpius chip is in his head. And it's like the third time he's popped up. And, the Scaran, it kills the Scaran that's interrogating him, and after that it goes, I'll tell everyone about the chip in my head, blah blah blah, and it's like kind of no, you won't. And he goes, I will. And he goes to go and say it, and he realizes he's fucked because it won't let him assert control. I love that. That's a fucking awesome storyline. There's Scratch and Sniff. Tanith brought up Scratch and Sniff. You remember Scratch and Sniff?
Yes, I do remember that.
Where they get kicked off of a planet and they're trying to explain to what's his mush pilot why they can't go back down to the planet, and they're telling this tall story of like these weird kind of like I can't remember what they call them now. They're making like an aphrodisiac sort of thing. It's a bit sexual, shall we say? Because it's like because basically it's those two who were supposed to get off the ship and get laid because they hadn't had sex in a while, and it was driving everyone fucking nuts. But they didn't say it directly because it was a family show. But yeah, and then
it was a family show. But the DVD releases, didn't they have extended versions of some of the episodes where, because you know, that were slightly more adult?
The only one that I can remember, there were two. There was the modest one where you had it was like, I can't describe him. It's like a evil dream thing that was fucking with Zan. So Maldus, and that one wasn't shown on TV. And it was rated 15, I believe. So that was there on DVD. And then you had the Nabari one in the second season with the eyeball, and maybe some other bits. But they're the only ones that really stick out for me.
Peacekeepers.
Picture this.
Was rated 15, wasn't it? The Peacekeeper movie at the end.
Wars. The Peacekeeper War. No, I don't think it was, actually. I don't know. I'll have a look now. I'm going to have to look. But it was fantastic. I love Scorpius was a bad guy. Crichton's a good guy. I can't believe it's 25 years old, though. I sent you a very upsetting message on Friday.
I know.
That is so upsetting.
I was trying to think that. Because, well, yeah, okay. Right, I've got to say this, though, right? If Martha Kent was that age, right, the actress is at least 20 years older than that. Because that actress was Lana in Superman 3 when I was a kid.
Right, sorry. Let me explain the message first, because people don't have the context here. So on Friday, I sent Keith a message because I started watching Batman. It was shit, so I started watching Smallville. So I just randomly picked like an episode in the middle of season 1. And I'm watching it, and I'm looking at Jonathan Kent going, fuck. I look a little older than him. Okay, admittedly, I keep my grey. I could lose my grey and look younger. But I look older than Jonathan Kent. So I Googled how old was Rob... What's his name? Rob Snyder?
It wasn't Roy Schneider. Roy Schneider.
Not Roy Schneider. No, not Rob. Rob Schneider. Not Rob Schneider. Anyway, Jonathan Snyder. That was his name. Jonathan Snyder. And he was 41. Throughout that first series of Smallville. So that means we were older. So when we watched Smallville, and this is the funny thing, we watched Smallville, and the cast of Smallville were older than us. And I've gone back and watched it, and now the parents are younger than us. How does that work?
I know. She's right, because they were edited for BBC Two. And when they came out on DVD, they were 15 and 18s. So they were longer episodes than what was shown on BBC Two. Because there was like a lot of stuff like what's her face? Black and white bird. Why can't I remember her name?
Chiana.
Chiana. She was kind of quite a sexual person, and often talked about sex. A lot of that was cut out when it was shown on BBC Two at 6 o'clock in the evening. So, but that's on the DVD. The trouble is, you guys are now used to watching all the DVD releases because you, like, Tanith bought all the fucking DVDs because you used to say, I buy all the Star Trek videos. Your missus was buying all the freaking Farscape DVDs and videos going out.
I'd like to point out I had all the Babylon 5 videos, which you borrowed a lot of.
Yeah, so shut up. So we all had seasons. But when they came out, they were longer episodes. Because I remember watching a couple with you guys going, hang on, I don't remember this when it was aired on BBC Two. And then you look at it, go, hang on, this is like a fucking 15. right? And then they was talking about like sex. I don't remember. This is why I thought it was a goddamn kids show, because when it was shown on BBC Two, it sodding well was. They cut it out, and then when you watch it on DVD, you've got like they're all talking about fucking, having ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, there was a much more adult rated cut. And I've got most of it on DVD. In fact, I think I've got the whole lot on DVD now.
Yeah, because you have to get it so you can make up the image.
Yeah. But I've got like the box sets. I'll have to get it on Blu-ray at some point. But look, I remember calling it a kids show thing, and I still maintain they are Muppets. I would like to point out it was Jim Henderson that made them, so they are technically Muppets, right?
They're not Muppets.
But Rigel is a Muppet in more ways than one. He was an arsehole, Rigel. I loved him. But yeah, Pilot was a complex Muppet.
Pilot was. It's ironic because Pilot was voiced by the person who plays Grace.
Yes.
So it was like he got the job as Grace. He's like, "Can you do the read for Pilot while you're at it?" And he do Pilot, and by the time they put him to all the voice filters, he was that. So what was his name? His name was Lanny Tupi.
But
Tuppy.
I think Farscape remains one of the more unique science fiction shows. That and Babylon 5 are rather unique and have influenced a lot of shows since then. As I said, Battlestar Galactica borrowed things from Farscape. Arguably, Firefly did as well. The idea
Stargate.
of the piece, Stargate, but Stargate honors
actors.
Yeah, they borrowed the goddamn actors, and they honor Farscape. I might point out.
Yeah.
I think in their 200th episode they honor.
Yeah, that's a great episode of telly.
Yeah.
I don't care whatever you feel about Stargate. You watch that episode, and it just takes the piss out of himself, and it's glorious in doing so. The best bit is when they do the Team America piss take, and you got Daniel Jackson trying to explain the seventh symbol, and it cuts to the hand on the board like drawing, and it cuts back, and you got the puppet, and it's drawn just bollocks on the board. You can't see whatever this nonsense on the board. Oh, I love that. And then you got the Farscape bit in it too.
But no, look, I ate my words very quickly. Farscape was awesome, and had some really cool concepts in it. I always loved Moria, the concept of Moria as a living ship, and having a baby as well. And I loved that part of it. I just as an idea, it was unique. Scorpius, one of the ultimate bad guys, because he wasn't just two-dimensional. He was brilliantly played, brilliantly acted. The Australian accents bug me sometimes still, but it's only because I'm used to good sci-fi having American accents, so it's not. But look, I can't believe it's 25 years old. It makes me fucking feel really old. But it was one of those seasons that they did finish, and it did have a good ending. Claudia Back and Ben Browder are just brilliant together. The chemistry between them worked. Scorpius as the antagonist, again, the chemistry between him and Ben Browder worked. Dargo, the chemistry between all of them worked. Even the Muppets. I take the piss when I call them Muppets, but they are technically Muppets. But Rigel was a character, as was Pilot, and they were believable. Yeah. And you didn't see them as puppets. You saw them as believable characters. And they had some amazing episodes and some amazing characters in it. Unique, very alien, very surreal in places. It was a brave show, and they don't make TV shows that brave anymore. It was a risk making Farscape. It nearly got cancelled more than once. Wasn't it? Wasn't there a massive fan campaign for it?
There was. I think it was. I think it only got cancelled the once, but they managed to get a TV movie because I think it was going through the period where people were getting TV movies to end their series, like Stargate SG-1. But Stargate Atlantis, my favourite one, didn't get a TV movie to finish off the bloody Wraith. They just fucked off home and left everyone in the Pegasus galleys. Went, nah, that'd be fine. It'll be alright.
You know, I mean, there's still rumours, but I don't know. I know all the Stargate cast want to come back. So come on, Amazon, throw some money at that instead of, or Netflix. Come on, one of you, throw some money at that instead of making shitty Batman cartoons.
Amazon own it.
I know. Come on, Amazon.
They own MGMs.
All
right.
But no, Farscape was awesome.
I love Farscape.
Still Muppets in space.
Farscape. It was that period of TV where you had like adventure, sci-fi stuff. It wasn't like the most expensive, or this, that, the other, but it was really entertaining and really took you away and really got you involved in the characters, even if they were Muppets in space.
I'm taking the piss. But it was Jim Henderson. Henson then. It was Jim Henson, and it was the Henson company that were involved in it. But by God, what did they make? Farscape is one of those series where creativity and storytelling are allowed to exist without too much of a studio interference. And look what they did. I can't help thinking if it would have done better if it had been made in America, but I don't know if it would have. The trouble is, it would have lost. You never would have cast the guy that played Scorpius or the guy that played Dargo, and it probably would have done better, but I don't think it would have been as good. Scorpius is still an awesome bad guy, as I said. Yeah. If you've never seen Farscape, it's worth watching.
Right. Would you like to talk about Memento, which I watched last week?
I have watched it. So do we want to start our Chris Nolan run this week?
We'll save it for next week because we had Farscape to talk about this week. So next week we're going on to Chris Nolan films, and we're starting off with Memento, which is so fucking... You watch it and it's so fucking Chris Nolan. This is the most Chris Nolan film that
I've got views about it. So we'll talk about it next week.
No. But if you just look at it as a piece of work, you go, that is definitely Chris Nolan.
He's Chris Nolan, all right. It's definitely
he's Chris Nolan all over the screen. You understand as soon as you watch that film, you understand. What do you call it? Inception, Tenet. There's another film.
Yeah, but those are better films.
Prestige.
But
it was the scrote at the time.
I've got to say, yes. So we're going to be we finished Lord of the Rings. So our next movie's interesting, something where we're trying not to be negative, kind of thing, is all of Chris Nolan's works except his. We're starting with Memento, which was his first proper cinematic release. Yes. So yes, that's what we're doing first. So we'll do that next week. Hopefully we'll have some news. It might be a slow news week. Definitely talk about House of Dragon season final. And we'll go from there.
Okay, cool. Right, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me. Bye-bye.